I just heard from Devin Trent.
And I just heard from Devin Trent.
I just heard from Devin Trent.
Mr. Devin Trent.
I just heard from Devin.
And I just heard from Devin Trent.
Specifically from Devin Trent.
And one thing I loved about Devin's talk was...
You welcome Mr. Devin Trent.
Good morning, good people. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. Glad to see all of your smiling faces. Before I get started, I want to make a few acknowledgments. First, I want to thank my God, the one and only, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I thank God much for allowing me to be here today. I want to thank Ms. Sybil and the whole team behind the scenes for putting on an event like this to talk about a topic that's a very important topic, a very relevant topic, especially given the current state of affairs. For a long time, people have been told to go to school, get your education so you can get a job, so you can get a good, safe job, a good, safe government job. But as we look around, we can see there's no safe jobs. Not even government jobs ain't safe. You know, jobs are risky. People say entrepreneurship is risky. And that's true. Business is risky. Most businesses fail within the first 5 years. That's a common statistic that we hear about. So yeah, business is risky. Jobs are risky. Everything is risky. Crossing the street is risky if you don't know what you're doing. Driving a car is risky if you don't know what you're doing. That's why it's so important to have a mentor, like Hennifer was talking about. It's so important to have a guide, somebody who can guide you on doing the thing, somebody who's already done the thing that you're trying to do. So having events like this are very important. So we're going to talk about the Entrepreneur Starter Kit, 3 secrets, tactics to start strong and succeed. Now, after doing a few talks like this, I noticed that it's good for me to share some of my story first to make a connection before we get into that. So a little bit about who I am, how did I get here? Born in the year 1988, February 15th. I'm the oldest of 3 boys. I'm the firstborn. That's my dad. I look just like my dad. The older I get, the more I look like my dad. He told me how because I was the firstborn, he offered me up to the Lord, kind of like Lion King, Mustafa and Simba. And I believe that sacrifice played a big part in who I am today. The Lord has been in my life very much so. I'm the oldest of 3 sons. That's my mom, my 2 middle brothers. We mostly grew up on my mom's side with her parents, my grandparents, but they passed away when I was in high school. And since I'm the oldest, I had to be responsible, get a job. I got my first job at 15 working at McDonald's, and then I got my second job working with my mom at the nursing home. I got into a car accident and insurance wouldn't cover the costs, so I had to get a second job. I had to quit football and get a second job to pay for that. And it was working with her that I got my first experience of how risky it is to have a job. She used to work overnight, and it would be 2 people on the floor. Somebody would watch the floor, and somebody would take a nap. And one day, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. One of the managers came in there on a late night creep, seen her taking a nap, and they fired her right on the spot. 10 years, she working on her days off. People call out, she covered and worked for them. No suspension, no 2 weeks notice, just fired. When I was working at Firestone as a mechanic, there was a guy who worked there for 30 years, and you're supposed to answer the phone a certain way. He didn't answer the phone a certain way, and they fired him. 30 years, down the drain. No suspension, no 2 weeks notice. And that was a big eye-opener that I cannot rely on somebody else for my financial future. So after high school, I went to trade school to be a mechanic. I heard somebody was talking about being an automotive tech. Yeah, that was, so after high school, I went to trade school. It was a 15-month program at Lincoln Tech. And I had to get another job to pay for school. So at one point, I was working 3 jobs and going to school. Every day, all day, just working school. I had no joy, I had no fun. I was going to kill myself because I had no joy. All I did was work and go to school. But I knew that was temporary. There's a book, Tough Times Don't Last, but Tough People Do. Eventually, that season did pass by, and I finally got my job as a mechanic, my first big boy job. I was making enough money at that one job to replace my other 3 jobs. And so that was like 2007. Fast forward to 2015, I met my first business mentor, Frank Richard. He introduced me to a lot of different books, a lot of different ideas and concepts, opened my mind to entrepreneurship. Around that time, I also got into photography. This is like 2015. I created a photography course. This is me in my mom's house, this little 12 by 12 room. and I was making my photography course. I did YouTube. This was a fitness channel. I had a lot of different YouTube channels over the years. This video got me over 500,000. I got 600,000 views on this video. I made a nice little couple dollars off of this video. So I've been into entrepreneurship for a while until eventually my entrepreneurial endeavors was making me enough to quit my job at Firestone. This is one of my last days. I was moving my toolbox. My Facebook memories, June 19th. Every year this pop up on my Facebook memories, and I just share it to kind of commemorate my entrepreneurial journey. Until now, fast forward 2021, I bought my first house. I went from that little 12 by 12 room to now I got this big old house to myself. This was a 3-bedroom house. I knocked the walls down to make one big studio space. So now I got 1 bedroom and a big studio space. So yeah, now I'm living a decent life. Oh, we missing slides. Yeah, I'm living a decent life now. Young, single, no kids. I work with good people. I still do my photography, but now that I'm 37, I realize that I have more to offer. There are bigger problems that I can solve. So now I'm transitioning more into a coaching role. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is all about solving problems. The quality of your business will be determined by the quality of problems you solve and the amount of people who problems you solve. If you solve a small problem for a few people, you have a small business. If you solve a big problem for a lot of people, you have a big business. So now the question is, what problems do most people have? Most people have, when we talk about the human condition, there are 4 pillars, there are 4 areas of business that if your business is within the arena of health, wealth, relationships, and happiness, you always have a business because the human condition is always in demand to solve those problems. And that's what those 4 colors are. The blue is for health, the green is for wealth, the red is relationships, and the orange is overall happiness. I saw somebody on Facebook complaining about friends and family not supporting their business. And I think that it was a t-shirt business. But t-shirts is not solving a big enough problem. You got to make sure you're solving a big enough problem. People are going to do what's in their own best interest. And it's in their own best interest to get that problem solved. And if your solution, if your business will solve their problem, then it would be in their own best interest to pay you to solve their problem. So you want to make sure that your business is in one of these 4 pillars. So let's get into it. 3 tactics. Work for free at first. You'll get paid on the back end. When people don't know who you are, they haven't seen none of your work, you got to get yourself out there. So I was doing free photo shoots at first. And then once the people like those pictures, they will refer me to people. And that's what I mean by you get paid on the back end. You do some work up front, you provide some value up front to show people that you can get results, and then you'll get paid through the referrals. So build a portfolio. And a lot of times you don't have to go to college, you don't have to get a degree. When I went to Firestone, they laughed at me when I told them I went to Lincoln Tech. Like, why did you go to Lincoln Tech? I didn't know about an ASE certification. I could have just read the book, studied the material, and passed the test, and got that same job in like 3 months. Instead of wasting 15 months at school and $20,000 in student loan debt, I could have just passed the test and showed that I can get results. So whatever your business is, if you do hair, whatever your business is, record yourself and show that you can get results. And use that as your portfolio for entrepreneurship or even a job. Show the employer that you can get results. Validate your offer before you invest in a LLC, a logo, trademarks, website. Before you spend all this money on behind the scenes stuff. When I was making my photography course, I spent like 6 months working on that course, building the website, building the sales funnel. And when it was finally done, I made a few sales, but it wasn't worth all the time and effort I put into it. A better thing to do is to validate the offer first. Make sure this is something that people will pay for. So you get a beta launch, you get a few people and see if they will pay for that offer. And then if you know that it's in demand, if somebody pay for it, be more people that'll pay for it. Get reviews and testimonials. So yeah, like I said, whatever business you're doing, make sure you get some reviews. Make sure you get that social proof. Just like when you go on Amazon, before you buy something, you're looking to see what's the ratings. 4 stars, 5 stars, you're reading the reviews. You want to show that you can have social proof. You want to show that you can get results. So whatever your business is, make sure you get testimonials from your clients. 2, buy assets, not liabilities. Tools that make you more money. When I was working at Firestone, I used to spend $20 on my work boots until one of the old heads told me, Dave, you spend more time at work. You should spend more money on your work shoes because you spend more time in your work shoes compared to the shoes that you know, when you go wear to the movies. Don't spend $150 on some shoes you're only gonna wear to the movies and spend $20 on the shoes you're wearing all day. So buy the good stuff up front, because if you buy the cheap stuff, eventually it's going to break, and then you gotta buy the good stuff later anyway. So buy the good stuff up front. Buy assets. The biggest asset is yourself. Invest in yourself, invest in your education, be knowledgeable in whatever field of study you're gonna go in. Know as much as you can know about it. Invest in yourself. Yeah, and buy tools that's gonna make you more money. With my cameras, that's a tool that's gonna make me more money, so I know that I can spend good money on my cameras because it's gonna make me more money. A pair of shoes is a liability. That's not gonna make me money. But a better camera is gonna make me more money. So whatever business you're working in, make sure you invest in the good stuff. And follow the money, buy stocks. I wish I was buying stocks from the beginning. I didn't start getting into investing until 2018, and that's how I bought my house in 2021. I made a lot of money trading oil in 2021, and that was enough to put a down payment on my house. I wish that I was buying stocks from the beginning. When you get paid, you pay your 10% tithes and pay yourself 10%. Before you spend the money and pay the bill collectors, pay yourself that 10%, and instead of putting it under the mattress, instead of putting it in the savings account where they're going to charge you a monthly fee to have an account, put that in a brokerage account and buy stocks. Don't open a Robinhood account. Don't open Reball. Billionaires don't put their money in Robinhood. Billionaires put their money in Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, E-Trade. Follow the money and put your money there. Don't put it in little, like Cash App. I think they even got a thing. Don't do that. Follow the money. Like I said, if the billionaires trust their money with Fidelity, put your money in Fidelity. And this is not investment advice. I'm just a regular guy talking about entrepreneurship. I got to give you that disclaimer. Consult a professional. Tactic number 3, get a mentor, somebody who has already, someone who has the results that you want. Right. Don't listen to people who don't have the things that you want. Why would I listen to somebody about money? Why would I take money advice from somebody who's bad with money? Why would I take business advice from somebody who is bad with business? Now, on the flip side, you could say, don't listen to people. Somebody had 5 failed marriages. Why would I take relationship advice from them? Well, you can learn what not to do. Sometimes you can learn what to do and learn what not to do. So be humble enough to listen to everybody. Everybody have something to offer. But it's very important to get a mentor, somebody who has already done the thing that you want to do, who already has the results, and to be patient. You think about an apple tree. When you plant the seed, the first thing that grow up is the little green plant. And then eventually you got the tree trunk, and then you got the branches, and then you get the leaves. The last thing to grow on the tree is the fruit. Business is the same way. Once you plant the seed and you get the knowledge and you start doing the work and you get some testimonials, you got to be patient and wait for the results. Don't give up too early. That's why a lot of businesses fail, because they give up too early. The last thing to grow on the tree is the fruit. It's the same thing with your business. So be patient. You probably heard about the story of 3 feet from gold. The guy was, shoveling, trying to find gold, and he was 3 feet away, but he gave up right before he struck gold. So be patient. Educate yourself and be self-aware. Self-awareness played a big part in my life today and how I got here. How do you become aware of anything? Is by being curious and asking questions. Sit down to yourself and ask yourself some questions. And this is how you become aware of self. Do a self-assessment. I give this analogy, signal versus noise. A lot of times you can't hear the signal because you're distracted by noise, distracted by cell phones and TV. Imagine you trying to stream a 4K video live, and then all of a sudden you start getting all of these notifications and phone calls and text messages. The signal starts to diminish. The Wi-Fi starts to diminish because you got so many distractions. Life is the same way. A lot of times you can't hear the signal because you're distracted by the noise. I would encourage you to get away from people, to go sit down somewhere and ask yourself some questions, such as, what comes easy to me but is difficult to others? that's a signal. That's a signal of your strength, and people will pay you for your strengths. If this is something that comes easy to you, but it's difficult for others, you can use that strength to solve a problem, and people will pay you to solve their problems. Another question you can ask yourself is, what do you do that makes you lose track of time? Have you ever gotten into a state of flow, and next thing you know, 3, 4, 5 hours have gone by, and you're just like, wow, where did all the time go? That's a signal. Something that makes you lose track of time is a signal. One more question is, what do strangers constantly compliment you on? That's the signal. Speaking of questions, let me ask you this question. This is a rhetorical question. Have you ever seen a fish climb a tree? Never seen a fish climb a tree. Why do you think it is that you've never seen a fish climb a tree? They're not designed to climb trees. They live in the water, right? Fish are not designed to climb trees. If you try to force a fish to climb a tree, do you think he would be successful? No, he would be unsuccessful. And if he's unsuccessful, do you think he would feel like a failure, especially when he compares himself to others who are doing the things that he's not designed to do? Oftentimes we do the same thing. We compare ourselves to others who are doing things that we are not designed to do. Everything is not for everybody. So you have to be self-aware to know what is for you. If you try to force a fish to climb a tree, he would not survive. But if you put him in the sea where he belongs, he can thrive. And you are the same way. Be in an environment where you belong, where you can thrive. And that's why it's so important to be self-aware. So, personality types. I seen on the itinerary, we're going to talk about personality types. That is one of the big things that got me to where I am today. That's one of the big things that got me standing in front of you today. There are 4 basic temperaments that comprise of 8 cognitive functions that make up 16 personalities. My personality type is the ENFP, extroverted, intuitive, feeler, and perceiver. My strength is to learn and teach using stories. It wasn't until I learned about this that I started to go down this path. And me standing in front of you today is a result of me being self-aware. It's a result of me walking in my purpose, walking in my strengths. It's better to work in your strengths instead of your passions. You might have a passion to be a singer, but you're not a good singer. It's better to work in your strengths. People will pay you for your strengths. And then you can do your passions for fun on your own time. So use your strengths to solve problems. Tupac was an ENFP. Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Will Smith. If you ever go back and watch some of these people, you'll see some similarities between me and them. And so that's one thing I do is study other people who are similar to me and find out what did they do to be successful? What did they do to overcome certain problems? And I apply that to myself. So what is your strength? Every person has a personality, and every personality has a natural strength, a natural ability to solve a certain problem. So when you get into the personality types, take it serious. The Happiness Blueprint for Young Adults. This is my signature coaching program. These postcards that you're passing out. On the front, you'll see a QR code. I open the doors to my program once a month. So if you want to be notified when I open the doors, scan the QR code, enter your name and email, and you'll be on the priority list for when I'm taking my next set of students. And then my coaching program, the Happiness Blueprint, helps to avoid a life of regret and build a life that you love. It's a 6-week program. There is a combination of pre-recorded videos, and then we also do live videos over Zoom to figure out your strengths and how to monetize those strengths. I go through the four S's: self-awareness, self-assessment, self-actualization, and self-improvement. This book also gives a little bit of overview about those same 4 S's. I got some in the back. I didn't come here to sell you a book. I don't make a whole lot of money off these books. I didn't come here to sell you a book. I came to sell you an idea. And that idea is this: everything is not for everybody. Self-awareness will reveal what is for you. That's it for my time. They say I got 10 more minutes. Do y'all have any questions? That's it for all of my slides. What business is anybody interested in going to? We said, well, I seen some people throw up their hand, they're interested in entrepreneurship. What you think am I doing? Marketing. Like marketing in general? For pharmaceuticals? For your own private practice or a certain company?
For a certain company, I don't know what's called. Also kind of like freelance editing and like social media.
Okay. You using, have you done any editing so far? Like what programs do you use?
Like
Okay. So like I was saying earlier, document yourself, document your process. Even if you're just going to put up a selfie video and show, or even like over the screen to show, this is what I'm doing, the before and after, and show the progress of your project. And show that portfolio that you can get results. So I would highly recommend doing that. I don't have much experience in pharmaceuticals. Anybody else, who else got an entrepreneur idea or business they think about doing? Neurology. That's like dealing with the brain? Yeah. Okay, so that's dealing with the health pillar. Find somebody who is already working in neurology. Do you know anybody? Yeah, well, I recommend going to any seminars, any workshops, signing up for stuff. If there's a workshop and you find out it's like a $200 workshop, spend that money on that workshop. Instead of spending that money on going to Miami and getting brunch and Montebliss mimosas, invest that money in yourself and invest in your education. That same $200, when you come back from Miami, your life is going to be the same. But you invest that $200 into the workshop, your life could be totally changed. So go online and type, neurology conferences and get involved. Go to the workshops and connect with the people. Give me one more. Anybody else had a business they interested in? What you got?
I have a question.
What you got? What's your question?
I guess with entrepreneurship, sometimes it comes with this thing called imposter syndrome.
The imposter syndrome.
Especially in the early days of your career and everything, where you're not sure if your work meets the required standard, and how do you push all that?
The standard. That's the problem. Comparing yourself to other people. There is no standard. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Photography is art. What's beautiful to somebody might not be beautiful to another person. So you don't want to compare yourself. They say comparison is the thief of joy. And your confidence will come from competence. The more competent you are on your topic, the more confidence you will have and not have imposter syndrome. When you know what you're doing and you know how to talk about it and you know what problem you solve, it'll help you to alleviate that imposter syndrome. And just to be true to yourself. Don't worry about what other people think or what other people say, because at the end of the day, you have to live your life. What they eat won't fill your stomach. So it don't matter what they do. It don't matter what they think. It don't matter what they say. What matters is how you feel and how you're going to live your own life. People say, YOLO, you only live once. I don't agree with that. Because the truth is you only die once. You live every day. So since you live every day, it's better to live in alignment with your own life and not make your decisions based on what other people might think or what other people might say. Because their opinions don't have any merit on your life. People say knowledge is power. I don't agree with that. Knowledge is potential power. If you have the knowledge and you don't use it, how powerful is that knowledge? Wisdom is power. Wisdom is the ability to take knowledge and get a result. Wisdom is the ability to take knowledge and solve. So that's all my time. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.